Welcome to GCCars. My name is Eric and this is the Lincoln Corsair Grand Touring. Let's get started talking about the exterior, and I gotta say, I do really like actually how this Corsair looks. I think they did a good job on the design, and knowing that this is technically based on an Escape, this looks way better in my opinion. Also, the color is a ceramic pearl, like it's kind of like this creamish color. It looks good. The Lincoln nailed their design in recent years. They just look fantastic. They look really good. All of this aviation theme and the sleek lines you can find everywhere. I love it, honestly. These 20-inch wheel stop, they're great. They're an option. They cost a lot of money, but they're really good looking. But remember, the bigger the wheels, the smaller the sidewall, the worse the ride quality. Just a thing to consider, but they look pretty sleek. Of course, we do have our plug-in hybrid port right here for all your charging needs. Really sleek looking Corsair badge. I think that, like I said, I just like the accents, the details. Overall, really good looking, and it's just, for a compact SUV, this looks really nice. Looks really nice. Interesting, very aggressive exhaust setup for a plug-in hybrid. You wouldn't expect like dual exhaust like that, but they put it on. No, like I said, looks good. I like it. But the way more important question, of course, in a luxury SUV is how does the interior look? So why don't we find that out? Hear the chimes? Da, 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 da. Okay, let's talk Lincoln Corsair interior, and I gotta say, Lincoln has done a good job. This is quite the nice interior. The materials are really nice, really good. Plush leathers everywhere, and we have kind of this black and slate gray interior with the optional aluminum applique, whatever it's pronounced, that thing. And I gotta say, it looks nice. I'm still more of like a beige sandstone kind of guy, but this works really well. I like it. And the nicest thing about this interior are these seats, because these are genuinely amazing seats. I love these seats. Optional 24-way adjustable seats, not quite as fancy as the 30 ways I think we had in the Navigator, but like 95% is good. These are fantastic, incredibly comfortable, incredibly customizable, and easy to do so. There's seats that have less options and aren't as easy to set up, and they're just, no, I love them. I haven't driven all compact luxury SUVs, but I can already tell these are the best seats you will find in this segment, period. Love them. Amazing seats, great massage, even have cushion massage, and it's strong. It is better than the EQS, and you have heated and cooled, but you can't do heated and cooled at the same time, so that's a point to Mercedes. Anyhow, other than that, no, it's nice. I like it. We have a digital gauge cluster right up front here, which is a familiar sight if you've been in multiple Ford or Lincoln vehicles. It works pretty well, good options, and I like that they give you the option of the comm screen, basically very little input on there, very little data on there, just to keep it, a little cleaner, a little easier. That's what Lincoln really is about. It really isn't about the sportiness, unlike Cadillac. This is more about the ease of living, I guess, in a way. You have a great heads-up display, nice and big, displays a lot of information of that you really need. Then we have our infotainment here, which is Sync 3 based, and I don't really like it that much. It'll get the job done, yeah, but occasionally it's laggy, occasionally it's slow, and it's just outdated. It doesn't have that many features, but the most important thing is wired Android Auto, wired Apple CarPlay. You got that, so your phone can take over whatever is lacking in there. And then I just gotta say, this is actually really cool. I got in here, was a little like, okay, this is a little unusual, right? This kind of center console sticking in here and then going back away. But this is actually really cool for usability, because unlike when it's like a flat surface, this is nice and easy to use, and like heated seats, heated steering wheel, goes well with the great seats, so you don't really have to move at all. And lastly, the last thing I want to mention for the front here is that I like what they did with the phone charger, because it is inside the center console, which means you can't really have it accessible. You can't really text and drive. You guys know me. I like it when it's in a separate compartment where it's not accessible while driving, and not even, even here that would be kind of accessible. This is better, and they put it in sideways, so you don't really lose much space. Good job, Lincoln. And the second row, of course, important thing if you're buying an SUV, right? Good amounts of space for me, 125 pounds, 5'7", but that is kind of guaranteed in almost any SUV, and it is quite comfy. Materials are maybe like a tiny bit worse, there's a few more plastics, but overall all the touch points still very nice. You can recline the seats, you get 3 USB-A's, 1 USB-C in the back, and heated seats on both sides. So honestly, no, very nice. With that being said, let's take a look at the trunk and then we go driving. Bonjour mes amis. So in the trunk of the Lincoln Lincoln Corsair. So as you can see, it's not the roomiest, but there's also smaller trunks available in this segment, so it's kind of like the middle of the row. Anyhow, we have 27.6 cubic feet of space just like that, but unfortunately we do not have any grocery bag hangers, which is a bit of a shame. Would be nice. We do have a privacy cover we can put in, which is not in here right now, but other than that, it's fine. And of course, I have a charging cable because, well, it's a plug-in hybrid. You might want to charge it. Anyhow, what we do have though, which is really nice, the ability to put down the seats from here. We've been in more expensive. This one doesn't work for some reason right now. We've been in more expensive midsize SUVs in which that wasn't possible. But here, it technically is. Well, you still got 60% of the second row down from behind. Yeah, well, there you go. They got 57.6 cubic feet of space. Yeah. Let's go driving. How about that? Okay, now on the road in the Lincoln Corsair, and as always, let's see how quick this accelerates. So we want to turn off traction control, and we want to, come on, lagging infotainment, like I said, and we want to go into the drive mode, and then we want to go to excite. All right, brake torque, and let's go. And there we go. Pretty good power, honestly. And yeah, not bad. Not bad. I think Car and Driver tested at 7 seconds from 0 to 100. Traction control was still on, by the way. The screen is so laggy that sometimes it's pretty hard to do it. I think 7 seconds, 0 to 100 kilometers, 0 to 6 miles an hour. And it does feel quicker. It does feel quicker. Because we do have a 2-liter inline 4 up front that is mated to 2 electric motors, one in the front, one in the back. But those are powered by a 14.4 kilowatt hour battery, and the combined output is 266 horsepower sent to all 4 wheels through a CVT. As you've probably heard, CVT, there were no gear shifts, just constant RPM. But let's talk a little bit about the drivetrain, because I think it is actually pretty nice. First of all, we have plenty of electric range, which is, if you're looking for a plug-in hybrid, very important, right? You want to have that. So the way I am driving, it tells me I can get just shy of 60 kilometers of pure electric driving, which is really good, actually. Really, really nice. It gets you most places, especially everything in the city, right? Even if you do a longer day trip, maybe you can use the electricity in the city and also the battery in the city, and then once you're out the city, maybe on the highway, you can switch over to modes that use the internal combustion engine a little more, just to, save the battery power for the most inefficient driving that would be on the ICE. And other than that, I think it drives fairly well. You get all the power you need, and it does come with the usual kind of drawbacks that a plug-in hybrid or even a mild hybrid often gives you, and that is once the battery is depleted, or once you're solely using the engine, we're going to do that in a second, the internal combustion engine just sounds very coarse. It just doesn't sound nice. It's not a good sound by any means, but hey, normally you're going to drive it with battery power enabled, so it's going to be fine. Let's see how quickly it reacts though. 50 kilometers an hour, and we're just going to floor it. Okay, so we were in all electric driving, in normal mode, but if possible, it drives electrically. Sorry, and it gave me like a little boost of electricity, a little bit of battery power first, and then it turned on the engine, shifted into didn't shift, but put the RPM at a good level, and we went. So power and reaction time and all that, honestly, is fairly good, but that's not really why you buy a plug-in hybrid. The plug-in hybrid is the smoothness of the drivetrain that is certainly given, especially, like I said, if you drive in electric mode in the city. It is very smooth, very nice to drive. I really like how this drives. But let's see how the suspension fares when we put it on the road we always test it on. We have an air suspension here. Okay. And it is pretty comfy. It is pretty comfy, I must say. Admittedly, smaller, harsher bumps, like smaller unevenness, cracks in the pavement, and all those. You do feel them a little bit, but that's mostly our 20-inch wheels. The optional ones we have spec, right? If you only go for the 19-inch wheels, that'll be a little better. But other than that, the suspension actually does a pretty good job. It is comfy in here. The big bumps especially get absorbed super well. It is very flat to drive. Good suspension. And then we go to noise, vibration, and harshness, and there are a few vibrations around the sunroof in the back, I noticed, and a few rattles. But overall, it is pretty well done. It is very quiet. It is very nice to drive. It feels well built, and the noise from outside is very well isolated. And that's always like this beautiful combination of, right, electric driving plus low noise floor equals a very clean and serene driving experience. And combine that with the Revel audio system we have in here, which is really good, except for if you turn it up a little more, it loses a bit of clarity, just like in the Navigator, but you might be able to play around a bit with the bass settings, treble, and all that to get it a little better. But overall, it's pretty good. I like it. Very enjoyable to listen to. Very, very enjoyable. And that just makes it for a comfy and good experience, especially if you're just commuting A to B. It is quiet, nice. But let's see what happens if you don't just commute and you actually, expect the car to do something. So, excite mode and a lot of understeer. Wow, a lot of understeer there actually. The suspension didn't quite cope with that. That was probably the worst one yet. So the suspension kind of felt like it was struggling a little, but that might actually be more the tires. Because the tires didn't feel like they really were up to the task. The suspension was keeping us moderately in check. Very floaty, very bouncy, but overall decent performance, but the tires just didn't have much grip. So that might be down to the tires. Overall, there's not too much feel in the steering. Generally, there's on center, there's a lot of numbness, and it does sometimes kind of move around a little bit just on center when you hit like tiny little imperfections in the road. Other than that though, it'll do a fine job if you ever need to do it in an emergency situation. Other than that, this has no sport inspiration, so it's totally fine. This is made for comfort and comfortable. It is. Which gives us a good segue to the last point, and that is tech. Because tech always enhances a comfortable driving experience, and we do have overall pretty good amount of tech. Of course, we have blind spot monitoring, emergency braking, all the good stuff we usually expect in vehicles these days, especially at this price point. We do expect them. And then we have Ford's 360 sync and all that, 360-degree co-pilot, whatever they call it for Lincoln. Anyhow, it includes semi-autonomous driving assist, lane keep assist, all that, and it works fairly well. Just like always in Ford Lincoln products, it is tied, like the semi-autonomous driving assist is tied to the cruise control, so you can't enable it without enabling cruise control, which is a bit unfortunate, but once you have both of them enabled, it's a very good system. It works very well, and for semi-autonomous means hands on the steering wheel, just assist you, right? It is definitely one of the better systems out there. Anyhow, I think that's all I wanted to talk about while driving, so why don't we just send it off to the final thoughts and give this Lincoln Corsair Grand Touring a verdict. Okay, final thoughts on the 2022 Lincoln Corsair Grand Touring, and I really liked it. Honestly, it's a good SUV, and it's a really good plug-in hybrid. Usable range, good charging options, very flexible in terms of the driving dynamics, in terms of like, do you use a battery, do you use the internal combustion engine? No, honestly, good car, great SUV. I enjoyed it, and unlike some other domestic luxury SUVs, this one doesn't feel like it's skipping some of the steps in terms of becoming proper luxury. It is quiet, it is comfy, the materials are good. No, I like it. But the problem is the price. At $72,595 Canadian, this is anything but a bargain. Which, of course, it's a luxury SUV. It's not supposed to be a bargain, but $72,500 just buys you a lot of things. Now, of course, this is a plug-in hybrid. They are always more expensive, and depending on where you live and when you watch this video, you might have incentives that bring down the price. This was the price without any incentives, right? So that's one thing, and this is top specs, so they're always a little more expensive. But overall, I don't think the price diminishes what you get here, which is still a fantastic SUV, but I'm just saying you got to be really sure that you want to have a plug-in hybrid, and it's going to be this one, because you can even get a plug-in hybrid BMW for less, which once you option out to be an equal level, it's like right around there. But still, just food for thought. With that being said, I can just repeat, it's a good SUV. I didn't have any complaints. It's just a thing, luxury, plug-in hybrid, compact SUV. I have a very limited range of cars I can compare it to, because even at 100 press cars almost, I've had like one of them. That's the one. Yeah, they're not that often. You get them. Anyhow, still a good job. Still a good job. Like it. That's all I wanted to say about the Lincoln Corsair. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Please let me know what you think of the Lincoln Corsair. Maybe if you had any experiences with the Corsair or competitors, let me know, because I always appreciate when owners or people that had their own experiences tell me what they think, just, you know, kind of compare. And other than that, like I said, I upload videos every single week, everything from plug-in hybrid, luxury, compact SUVs to supercharged V8 Cadillacs. They're coming very soon, and big SUVs, small SUVs, EVs. We got it all. So if you like car reviews and you think I'm remotely funny, consider subscribing, because it helps me and it's literally free. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you liked it, and I hope I'll see you in the next one. Have a great day and love yourself. Bye bye.